let's get started. Okay, I very grateful for you guys taking your time to join us today. Grateful to your family members for taking care of whatever it is that they take care of so that you can have time to study and to learn and transform, become a bigger and better person and engine of value creation for society and the world. Every moment that you guys are here, that makes the world a better place, whether or not you actually realize that. So I'm very grateful for that, and I'm honored by your participation. I've been doing the sharing of the inner being philosophy for 2 or 3 years now. This being the sixth season. The sixth season is special. I instead of sharing from my own understanding, I'm going to try to stay as close as I can to the original, um, verbiage that our master has spoken. Okay, he will be speaking in Vietnamese. Obviously, this is the last. This is basically the last inner being course that he personally taught. That has been recorded. And so I'm going to listen to him and I'm going to translate it directly line by line. And he has set the intention for the mentors to imprint this particular course. Not all courses are imprintable. Okay, this course, our master has intentionally chosen to speak in such a way that is short, and simple and clear, so that we could imprint. Okay, we basically take the time to listen and then pay attention to the way the material is presented line by line. A master has that ability of arranging the material in such a way that if you imprint it, meaning you follow closely, you will get the maximum benefit from the understanding, the comprehension, as well as the ability to share it back. And I'm very blessed with the ability to translate it in back in the English language in such a way that I feel that people have told me that the way I speak is fairly comprehensible to them. Okay, and take this time to imprint whether you can. You can. It is a recommendation to later go back onto these recording and imprint. Later listen and just write. Listen and just write the way I share it, because the way I share is I try to stay as close to the way master share it as possible. Okay, there is a logical progression that goes from line to line to line to line. So if you pay attention to that, you will notice that, and it should cause a deeper shift in awareness and help you understand the material a lot better. So without further ado, let's start with today's lesson. This is day number 11. Okay, day number 11 in the inner being course. K36. We are going to talk about a concept. We're going to talk about the triangle of reality. But before we go deeper into the triangle of reality, there is a concept called the material expression. Okay, the material expression. Material expression. Okay. Material expression, okay? So when I say the word material expression, meaning the material expression of gold that is different from the material expression of lead. Can you get that? The material expression of a successful person versus the material expression of a failure. The material expression of a healthy person is different from the material expression of a sick person. If I say that, can you understand, even if you haven't been clear? Right? The concept of a material expression, meaning people have different material expression, different things, different animal have different material expression. Matter, material expression. So the question really is, why are there differences in the material expression of all things? Why are there different material expression of a human being? And so scientists gives us the concept that everything in this world everything, all matter, right? All matter or material, all matter or material in this world, all matter or all material in this world contain within them some energy. This is basic stuff that we study in school. All matter or all material in the world, the universe, have some energy. Okay, this is some basic. Scientific understanding. Okay. Do we agree that all matter in this world has a material expression? And deep inside that matter or that piece of material, there is some information, some basic information. They have a basic information. That information give rise to the energy signature, and it expresses materially, which is different from one another. So even if you don't see something that is materially expressed, do you think people can use instrument to measure that? They can measure the energy component of if some material, even if you don't see a material, they can use some instrument, scientific instrument, to measure the energy, and then they can tell what kind of material it is. For example, if you go scanning for metal underground, and you can detect the energy signature of a metal, then you can tell what kind of metal is in the ground without even looking at it. And as we research into matter and energy, we discover that everything has a basic structure of information. So the question is, why do different things have different material expression? It is simply that things have different material expression is because they have different energy, and they have different energy is because they have different information. For example, gold has a different material expression from lead. Gold is different from lead. It looks different. The material expression of gold is different from the material expression of lead because the energy inside gold and lead are different, and the information inside gold and lead are different. Does this make sense to you guys? Right? Yeah. And so when we're talking about a person, a human being, a person who is healthy versus a person who is sick, can we agree that a person who is healthy has a material expression that is different from the person who is materially expression of sickness? So human beings have different material expression. And can you feel that the energy of a healthy person is different from the energy of a sick person? The energies are different. So that shows that the information inside a sick person is different from the information that is inside the healthy person. It's that simple. A happy person and a person who is peaceful, okay, a person who is serene versus a person who is experiencing pain and suffering. Do you see the material expression between a peaceful and happy person that is different from the person who is sick and sad? And can you feel the energy of a happy person versus a person who is suffering? Yeah. The information of a person of serenity will definitely is going to be different inside the person who is experiencing pain and suffering. Okay? You can just get it up to here. If you can get it up to here, then congratulations. Then we can begin by helping you. And so, lead and gold are different in material expression. That means their energy is also different, and therefore their information is different. So if I want to turn lead into gold, can I do that? Can I turn lead into gold? If I want to turn lead into gold, what can I do? Science has already done it.
Information.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. Science has already done it through time, over time, by changing the information, the basic structure of lead, then you can turn it into the information of gold, and then the lead can become into gold. And when you change the information of lead, you also change the energy of lead. And when the energy of lead matches the energy of gold, it's actually gold. And so, using science, all matter and energy in this universe can be changed simply by changing the information within them. Science can change salt water into fresh water by changing the content, right? They can change chemicals into different chemicals, from one type of molecules into different kind of molecule, one chemical into different chemical, by ways of chemistries and physics. And so the conclusion is that all things can be changed from one form to another. So what about human life and human experience? With the worldly view, if we want to turn lead into gold, all we have to do is change the information within it. But what about a healthy person versus a sick person? How do you change the sick person into a healthy person? If so, the wise people who have health problem. If you change the information inside a sick person, if you change the information inside a sick person to match the information inside a healthy person, then their energy will change, and therefore their material expression will also change, just as it is in the worldly view. And so a successful person and a failed person are two different material expressions. The energy are different, and the information within each of them are different. If the information inside a failed person is changed to match the information of a successful person, then can a failed person become a successful person? Is it possible for a failure to turn to a success? What about a person who is full of resentment versus a person who is honored by and grateful for everything? Can you change a resentful person into a grateful person?
Yes.
Simply by changing the information. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, an angry person. How do you turn an angry person into a magnanimous person with the capaciousness and the capacity to contain? You can, with the condition that if you know what the information inside a human being is, you have to know what the information is of magnanimity and capaciousness before you can change a person. Okay? So next, you can write for me. You can write for me the information within a human being. Write this down. The information within us human being. The information within us human being is that which we know. The information within us human being is that which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand. The information within us human being is that which we know, is that which we believe, is that which we understand. Or simply, the information within us human being is that which we know, what we believe, and what we understand. Okay? The information within us human being is that which we know, what we believe, and what we understand. That is one concept, one idea. Next, that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand, that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand, represent the information within us human being, which represent the reality of our life. The information within us human being are that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand. That's the first idea. The second idea, that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand, represent the information within us human being. Let's just repeat, okay, but in the reverse order. But then you added which represent the reality of our life. That second part, it represents the reality of our life. Okay, so those are two ideas, and we're going to repeat it. The information within us human being is that which we know, is that which we believe, is that which we understand. That which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand, represent the information within us human being, which represent the reality of our life. Okay? If you had not had a chance, go ahead and try to write that down. If you can memorize that, that'll be great. Next idea. When mentioning anything, when mentioning anything, when mentioning anything. Okay? When mentioning anything, what we know about it, what we believe about it, and what we understand about it. When we mention anything, what we know about it, what we believe about it, what we understand about it, represent the information within us human being about it, which represent our reality of that thing, which represent our reality of it. I'm going to repeat it. When mentioning anything, when mentioning anything, what do we know about it, how we believe it, how we believe about it, and how we understand about it, represent the information within us human being about it, represent our reality of it. Represent our reality of it. So we're going to repeat the whole thing. When mentioning anything, what we know about it, how we believe about it, how we understand about it, represent the information about represent the information within us human being about it, which represent our reality of it. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna repeat the three ideas before we go to the next one. The information within us human being is that which we know, is that which we believe, is that which we understand. That which we believe, what that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand, represent the information within us, which represent
within us,
our
which represent
reality of life.
our reality of that of of it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, sorry. I was just
When mentioning anything, when mentioning anything, what we know about it, what we believe about it, what we understand about it, represent our information within us about it, represent our reality of it. Okay. So basically, the first idea defines the information within us. The information within us human being is that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand. The second line link the knowing, believing, understand to the reality. Okay. The third line basically repeats that, but specify an example of something when we mention something. So you can memorize that and see if you can actually say that in a logical and simple to understand way. The information within us human being is that which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand. And then you repeat. in reverse order. That which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand represent the information within us, represent our reality of life. When mentioning anything, this is when we get specific. When mentioning anything, that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand represent the what we know about it, what we believe about it, what we understand about it, okay, because this is mentioning anything. When mentioning anything, what we know about it, that anything, what we believe about it, and what we understand about it represent the information within us about it, represent our reality of life about it, or our reality of it. So, for example, okay, the number 4 idea, okay, we're gonna write the word, let's say the word happiness, okay, with the word happiness. 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 When mentioning happiness, what do we know about happiness? What do we believe about happiness? You can actually, you write this down, okay? Write this down too. When mentioning happiness, what do we know about happiness? What do we believe about happiness? What we understand about happiness? Okay, if you can get there, let me know. Represent the information within us about happiness. Which represent the information within us about happiness, which represent our reality of happiness, or which represent the happiness of the reality of happiness of our life. Okay. So let's say we do health. For example, when mentioning health, okay, when mentioning health, what do we know about health? What we believe about health? What we understand about health? Represent the information within us about health, which represent our reality of health in our life. Reality of health of our life. Let's write marriage. When mentioning marriage, what we know about marriage, what we believe about marriage, what we understand about marriage, represent the information within us about marriage, which represent our reality of marriage, of our life. Or you can say, which represent our life reality of marriage. How about finance? Finance. What we know about finance what we believe about finance, what we understand about finance, represent the information within us about finance, which represent our life reality of finance. For example, when we mention serenity, serenity, inner peace. Inner peace is missing a component of joy in it. The Vietnamese word an vui actually has two parts. One part is peace, and then another part is joy, peace, joy. So serenity is actually more accurate. What we know about serenity, what we know, what we believe about serenity, what we understand about serenity, represent our information about serenity, represent our reality of serenity in life. When mentioning beauty, beauty, what we know about beauty represent our when mentioning beauty, what we know about beauty, what we understand about beauty, what we believe about beauty. Sorry, what we know, what we believe, what we understand about beauty represent the information within us about beauty, which represent our reality of beauty, or the life reality of beauty, or the beauty of our life. What about raising children? What do we know about raising children? What we believe about raising children? What do we understand about raising children? Represent the information within us about happiness. Children, sorry. When we talk about raising children. So, when mentioning raising children, what do we know about raising children? What do we believe about raising children? What we understand about raising children? Represent the information within us about raising children. Represent the reality of raising children in our life. When mentioning investing, let's do investing. What do we know about investing? What do we believe about investing? What do we understand about investing? Represent the information within us about investing. Represent the reality of investing of our life. You guys got a chance to write it down, right? Okay. And so this is an important moment, more important, little. So, the information within us is that which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand. That which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand represent the information within us and represent the reality of life. When mentioning anything, what do we know about it? What do we believe about it? What we understand about it represent the information within us about it which represent our reality of life about it. For example, when we talk about happiness, what do we know about happiness, what do we believe about happiness, what we understand about happiness, represent the information within us about happiness, which represent the reality of happiness in our life. For example, when we talk about health, what do we know about health? What do we believe about health? What do we understand about health? Represent the information within us about health, which represent our reality of health in life. For example, when we talk about marriage, what do we know about marriage? What do we believe about marriage? What we understand about marriage represent the information within us about marriage, which represent our reality of marriage in life. For example, when we talk about finances, what do we know about finance? What do we believe about finance? What do we understand about finance? Represent the information within us about finance, which represent the reality of our finance. Talking about serenity, what do we know about serenity? What do we believe about serenity? What do we understand about reality? Represent the information within us human being about serenity, which represent the reality of serenity in our life. When talking about beauty, what do we know about beauty? What do we understand about beauty? What do we understand about beauty? That represent the information within us about beauty, which represent the reality of beauty in our life. When talking about children, what do we know about raising children? What do we believe about raising children? What do we understand about raising children? Represent the information within us about raising children, which represent the reality of raising children in our life. When talking about investing, what do we know about investing? What do we believe about investing? What do we understand about investing? Represent the information within us human being about investing, which represent the reality of investing in our life. Okay, do you get that? Do you catch that? We intentionally went really fast to see if it'll program inside your mind. Okay. You can write a new line. Okay, so it's a new idea. Okay, the information within us human being is that which we know, is that which we believe, is that which we understand, the information within us human being is that which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand. Okay, that which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand represent the information within us human beings. Okay, let's go back. Let's rewrite that. That which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand. Okay, we got that first idea. In other words, is the source concept. Okay, in other words, is the source concept. Source concept. The information within us human being is that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand. That which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand. In other words, the source concept. Okay, write that statement down. In other words, the source concept. In other words, the source concept. in other words, the source concept. The source concept represents the information within us human being, which represent the reality of our life. In other words, the source concept, which represent the information within us human being, which represent the reality of our life. Which represent the information within us human being, which represent the reality of our life. Okay. We're going to continue writing the following. When mentioning anything, when mentioning anything, when mentioning anything, what we know about it, when mentioning anything, when mentioning anything, when mentioning anything, what we know about it, when mentioning anything, what we know about it, believe, how we believe it about it, what we believe about it, what we understand about it, what we understand about it, represent the information within us about it, which represent the information within us about it. Oops, hang on. When mentioning anything, what we know about it, what we believe about it, what we understand it. In other words, what source concept do we have about it? Okay, so we're basically defining knowing, believing, and understanding as a source concept. So when mentioning anything, what we know about it, what we believe about it, what we understand about it. In other words, what source concept do we have about it? Okay, when mentioning anything, what we know about it, what we believe about it, what we understand about it. In other words, what source concept do we have about it? Okay, you got it, the source concept part. What we know about it, what we believe about it, what we understand about it. In other words, what source concept we have about it. Okay, in other words, what source concept do we have about it? That's an important part. In other words, what source concept do we have about it? Okay, in other words, what source concept we have about it. When mentioning anything, what source concept we have about it. Represent the information within us human being about it. Which represent the information within us human being about it. Okay? It represents the information within us human beings about it. Basically, what source concept do we have about it, which represent the information within us human being about it, which represent our life reality about it, or which represent our reality of it in life, which represent our reality of it in life. Which represent our reality of it in life. Okay, so we're pretty much done. With the next part, you comprehend it even more deeply. For example, when mentioning happiness, okay, we're just gonna work on a happiness one. You can practice with the rest. You're gonna know how it works, so that we can get into the sharing of the knowledge more deeply. I'm gonna read it. For example, when mentioning happiness, okay, for example, when mentioning happiness, for example, when mentioning happiness, what we know about happiness, what we know about happiness, what we believe about happiness, what we understand about happiness, represent, sorry, not, in other words, what source concept we have about happiness. Okay? So for example, when mentioning happiness, what we know about happiness, what we believe about happiness, what we understand about happiness. In other words, what source concept we have about happiness. What we know about happiness, what we believe about happiness, what we understand about happiness. In other words, what source concept do we have about happiness? Represent the information within us human being about happiness, which represent our reality of life about happiness. Okay, do you get the idea? Meaning when we mention anything, what our source concept do we have about it? That source concept represents the information about it, and that represents our reality of life with respect to that concept. And so the source concept is the concept that comprises everything that we know, what we believe, and what we understand. Okay, that's what a source concept is. Okay. When we talk about healthy, what we know about health, what we believe about health, what we understand about health. In other words, what source concept we have about health represent the information within us about health, which represent the reality of health in life. When mentioning marriage, what do we know about marriage, what we believe about marriage, what we understand about marriage. In other words, what source concept do we have about marriage, represent the information within us about marriage, represent our reality of marriage in life. When mentioning finance, what do we know about finance? What we believe about finance? What we understand about finance? In other words, what source concept do we have about finance, which represent our information within us about finance, which represent the reality of finance of our life. When mentioning serenity or inner peace, what do we know about inner peace? What we believe about inner peace? What we understand about inner peace? In other words, what is our source concept about inner peace? Represent our information about information within us about inner peace, represent our reality of inner peace of our life. When mentioning beauty, what we know about beauty, what we believe about beauty, what we understand about beauty. In other words, what source concept do we have about beauty? Represent our information within us about beauty, would represent our reality of beauty in our life. When mentioning investing, what we know about investing, what we believe about investing, what we understand about investing. In other words, what source concept do we have about investing? Represent the information within us about investing, which represent the reality of investing of our life. When mentioning raising children, what we know about raising children, what we believe about raising children, what we understand about raising children. In other words, what source concept we have about raising children, represent the information within us about raising children, represent the reality of raising children in our life. Okay. does it become automatic to you, or do you become paralyzed with it? So when it comes to the source concept, okay, source concept. When it comes to source concept, there are source concepts that are beneficial and that which is unbeneficial. Beneficial source concept and unbeneficial source concept. When mentioning anything and we have a source concept that is beneficial, then our reality is going to be desirable. But when we mention anything and we have unbeneficial source concept, then guess what? Our life is going to be undesirable reality. And so now we're going to rationalize causality, reaping and sowing. Now the fruit of life, this is the outcome, this is the fruit of your knowledge and understanding from the past many months, or at least just past 10 or 11 days. So when you meet another person and you talk to them and you interact with them, and you realize they have a reality of marriage that is undesirable. If you meet a person and they have a reality of marriage that is undesirable, a person or group of people that have a reality of marriage that is undesirable versus a person that has a reality of life that is desirable, then where does the source come from? What is the source of the desirable or the source of the undesirable marriage? Okay, if somebody has a reality of marriage that is desirable and a person who has a reality of marriage that is undesirable, then where is the source? What is the source? Okay, we can predict. We can immediately predict. Okay, here here reality, do another page. Reality of marriage. Okay, the reality of marriage that is desirable, and a reality of marriage that is undesirable. Okay, so let's rationalize human life experience. Let's start with undesirable. If a person has an undesirable reality of marriage, then we can predict right away. Then firstly, they may have a negative mental image about marriage. Do you agree that? From the source, a person who has a reality of marriage that is undesirable, does that not mean that they have a mental image of marriage that is negative? That is firstly, they have negative mental images about marriage. And secondly, they have an inner state, a state of being that is also negative. The inner awareness, the awareness state about marriage, when they're mentioning it, it is a negative state. And the source concept that they have about marriage is unbeneficial. They have unbeneficial source concept about marriage. Okay? And so, those three things, when you add them together, that is the reality and the outcome of marriage of that person to be undesirable. It's that simple. Do we need to talk any more about, in depth to that person and find out why their marriage is in trouble? Do we need to spend an hour? Do we really need to spend an hour or 2 hours to listen to a person complaining about marriage and know why their reality of their marriage is undesirable? You don't need to talk at length with a person and know immediately. And the thing is, they might not even know that the reality of their marriage is undesirable. It is because they have been having the mental image about marriage that is negative, the inner state is negative, and the source concept about marriage, they are unbeneficial, unfavorable. But when a person have a reality of marriage that is desirable, we can rationalize right away. With a person whose reality of marriage is desirable, how do you rationalize that? A person who has reality of marriage that is desirable, don't believe them when they say, oh, their marriage is going well. Don't believe that their marriage is going well when they say their marriage is going well. Because the root cause, you are actually grasping the secret to the root cause of a human life experience. They might not grasp it yet. Where does the desirable reality of marriage come from? It comes from the good, positive mental image. It comes from the inner state that is balanced and positively oriented when talking about marriage. And because they have beneficial source concept about marriage. Is that pretty cool? Pretty awesome? Pretty awesome. Okay? The Vietnamese word is delicious. You just need to hear one or two statements from a person and immediately you know the source concept, you know the inner state, you know the mental image of a person, and you can predict immediately the reality of a person's marriage. The past 11 days is worth it. It can make you a predictor of human life and experience. Okay? Is that pretty good? Is that pretty good? With the reference system and the past 11 days together, you can now be predictor of human life and experience. And so we can explain all problems that people are experiencing. Whether they are desirable or undesirable, we can know the root cause of everybody's problem. All problems of life, all aspects of life, all areas of life, from desirable to undesirable, can be rationalized and explained. And so now, if we want to change the outcome of life, if we want to change the reality of life, what do we do? If we want to change the reality of life, what do? We clarify the outcome that we want to achieve. Okay, you want to write this down. You want to clarify the mental image of the outcome that we want. You want to clarify the image of the outcome. We accumulate and acquire beneficial source concept about the reality that we're reaching for, that we desire. Beneficial, we acquire and accumulate beneficial source concept regarding the things that we desire. We accumulate and acquire beneficial source concept about the things that we desire. And we create and accumulate merit. We create and we accumulate balance and positive merit. Firstly, clarify the mental image. Clarify the mental images of our life. If we want to change our life, we want to change anything, you have to begin by clarifying that outcome, the outcome that we desire, clarifying that picture. Step one is to clarify the picture, the mental image. Secondly, accumulate and acquire the beneficial source concept. Beneficial source concept, beneficial concept. And thirdly, you accumulate positive and balanced merit. Because when you accumulate positive and balanced merit, it makes the inner state simple to become balanced and positive. Anybody who wants to change their life in any direction, just use that formula. That is a formula. And so when you want to swim, you want to swim 10 kilometers in the ocean, what do? If you want to swim 10 kilometers in the ocean, what do we do? If you want to swim in the ocean, what do you do? Even if you don't know how to swim and you want to swim 10 kilometers in the ocean. First, you clarify the mental image. Clarify that picture of swimming in the 10 kilometers in the ocean. You acquire beneficial source concept about swimming. How to swim appropriately, how to swim rightly. 10 kilometers in the hour in the ocean. And you accumulate positive and balanced merit with respect to swimming. And over time, your image, your picture will clarify, your source concept will be clear, and you resonate on the same frequency of the reality of swimming 10 kilometers in the ocean. You get that? Okay, you understand? So we can go back. We are going to develop another concept, then we can get even deeper. And so, as a human being, can you imagine that as a human being, we have the hard part, the hardware, whereas the information within us are the software. Okay, or in other words, those are the source concept, the software. The source concept are the programs and the software that is inside of our body, the soft part. Do you get that? If we use the computer language, okay, IT technology nowadays, computer language, okay, there's the hardware, which is, our body, and the source concept are the software. So this is an important part. It is so important that our life, whether it transforms or not, lies in this part, which is the source concept. The source concept right here. Okay, think of a computer or a smartphone. A computer or a smartphone, and it has a hardware, and then it has the software. We understand that the hardware, the stuff that you can touch and feel. And the software, that is the program, the operating system inside it. The most basic software of a computer is the operating system. It is the operating system. Okay, the first set of software that you have to put into a computer or a phone, because of the operating system that the computer can run, and after that you can add more application, more apps onto that. Then the machine, the computer will have many features and ability. Everything is based on the foundation software, which is the operating system, right? This is important. And so deep within us, there are many information. Deep within us, human being, many source concepts. Why do you agree that we have many information, a lot of source concept within us, human being? Is it true that deep within us, there's so many source concepts? And the source concept that is most basic, most fundamental, the most foundational source concept, that is called the reference system. Okay? In computer, it is the operating system, but in our philosophy, we call it the reference system. In terms of humanity is called a reference system. It is the source concept that is most fundamental, reference system. And so, as a human being, do we have a reference system? At this point in life, do you have a reference system yet? We already have. We are using the reference system of science. We use the reference system of science. We have the reference system Do you notice that a lot of people are based their... let's change that one. Let's do another pen. Reference system. Do you notice that oftentimes we use science to explain different aspects of life? And do you notice that at a time we turn to religion and faith to explain life, and at a time we turn into moral philosophy, but some people tend to be more scientific, other people tend to be more religious, other people are only interested in common sense morality. Some people are both religious and scientific. Some people are both common sense and religious. Other people are philosophical and scientific. And some people are all three. So as a human being, we are always relying on some reference system to explain life. And so we're always depending on some reference system. But we don't, when in the process of using this reference system, if we are not aware, if we don't know where in science to attach to, if we don't understand which religion we are attaching to, if we don't understand what source concept from moral philosophy in order to be our reference system, and so there is another source concept called the standard reference system. Because there are so many reference system out there, and we are not so sure when we are relying on which reference system. And so there is a concept of a standard if we have a source concept that is beneficial, if we have a source concept that is more source, that is source to the source, a source concept of a source concept, like an operating system, which is a foundational software for all the application that runs on your computer and your phone. When you have a source concept of a source concept, and those source concepts are beneficial to you, it helps the computer run, then we call it a standard reference system. These are the three views. If a person only rely heavily on one of these three reference systems, then their life will be unbalanced. If a human being rely only one of these three reference systems, then the reality of their life will be unbalanced. But if they are able to rotate among these three reference systems at appropriate time, at appropriate circumstances, and they can achieve a state of balance and positive, then we can say that that person has achieved a state of reference, of standard in terms of reference system. A standard reference system is one that includes all three of these, and it helps a human being achieve a state of balance and positively oriented. What makes something a standard? What makes something a appropriate or standard? Irregardless of what problem that we have in human life, we need three reference, all three. We need, okay, this is an important point that we need to make. Irregardless of what problems or issue that we are facing in life, okay? Irregardless of what problem or issue that we are facing in life, in order to fully and completely explain it, we need all three in order for it to be complete. Because if you're only using science and they contradict with religion, then that's still incomplete. If we're using only religion and we're missing out on the moral philosophy, it is incomplete. If you use just moral philosophy and you ignore science and religion, then your reference system is incomplete. Your understanding of reality is incomplete. It is only when we are able to explain and rationalize any issue in life from all three perspectives, all three view, the scientific view, the religious view, and the moral philosophy view. If our perspective and our view is full and complete, is fulfilled, then we say that we have achieved a standard in terms of reference system. The standard reference system include the root cause formula. The formula for the root cause of life. That is one standard reference system. One of the three standard reference, okay? Root cause formula. Does not the root cause formula give us a very special awareness that through the root cause formula, then the mental images is the seed, and the outcome of life is the fruit. Okay, the mental images are the seed within us, and the outcome of life is the fruit. Through the standard reference system of science, it is very clear. Anything that you want to do, you have to clarify the mental image, the visualization. Then it is science. That's how science works. Okay? You begin with a clear goal, clear end before we do anything. And we call that to be a person of science, then whatever you do, you have to clarify the outcome. That is science. If you're not clear of your goal and destination, that's not scientific. If you want to do anything, if you're not clear, then how can you call that science? Science is all about clarity, all about knowing the end goal and the step-by-step leading to that goal. So the formula for the root cause of life is a foundational knowledge that helps us explain all areas of life through that root cause formula. That formula, the root cause formula, gives us the idea that all the mental images, the image within us is the root. The image within us is the seed that gives the fruit of life. And so if a person uses the root cause formula to be their standard reference system, and we fixate to it, if we do anything, you have to clarify the mental image. That means you have attached yourself to one of the foundational standard reference system in order to explain all aspects of life from the scientific point of view. Okay, you can get that up to here, right? A person who would consider themselves scientific has to have a clear goal in mind, the outcome in mind, the fruit of life. And then they go back and they find the step leading to that. And they will discover it begins with the mental image. As for religion and faith, what do we begin? Religion and faith begin. What does that say? There are many religions out there, right? There are many explanations of human life. But irregardless of who you are, irregardless of your religion, and if you say that your life is created by some other causes, then that is not the root cause of religion. But ultimately, that person, you can, in terms of religion, all religion will agree that there is a source. The root cause of human life is us. Even if you're a Christian or a Buddhist, or if you believe in a deity or not deity, there is the will, there is the choice that we determine our life. And then, the spiritual, the deity, and the gods, they will collaborate if the life that we have today, even if there's a spirit or a deity in existence, if we as a human being do not see our role in our own life, and we say that everything is determined by a deity or a god, and we have no say in it, then that person is pretty ignorant about human life. There is a standard reference system that relate to religion, and it is called the human energy structure. What that tells us is that human life is governed by the being, the human nature, the human emotion, the mind, and all of that give rise to the outcome of life. And so it gives us a special awareness that the energy, the spiritual energy, which we call positive merit, negative merit, and a balanced merit, those are the seed merits. I'll just say merits. Every religion agree with this. They just call it differently. Okay, some call it blessing and sins. The Buddhists call it merit, positive and negative merit. And it is the seed of a human being. It is the merits that determine the quality of our life. Irregardless of which religion that you are in, every religion will encourage us to do good and avoid doing bad. Every religion encourages us to do good in order to earn our way into a better reality. Every religion emphasizes the will, the choice, on a spiritual sense. And so merit is the foundation of a good human life. But when a person has a lot of bad merit, okay, a lot of sins and stuff like that, then their life tend to be undesirable. Whereas a person who accumulate or perform a lot of good deed, good merit, balanced merit, good deed, then their life tend to be desirable. That is the promise of all religion. According to this reference system, you can explain all aspects of life. Let's start from that spiritual energy of merit, positive merit, balanced merit. And it is that spiritual energy, it is hidden in the form of a state of being. The spiritual energy of merit is hidden in the form of our state of being, our inner state. If a person, when mentioning anything, and we have an inner state that is balanced and positive, that equals to that person having a lot of merit or a lot of good fortune or a lot of blessing. Meaning that person has a lot of merit in term, but when you mention something and our inner state is negative, then what that equates to is that person is lacking blessing, lacking merit in that aspect. And so from the religion and faith perspective, we use this reference system in order to rationalize anything in human life. Whenever we mention anything, when our inner state is balanced and positive, then we will have a life reality that is desirable. But if we mention anything and we have a negative inner state about it, then that means we are already missing the merit. We are unblessed or unfortunate. And so this standard referencing tells us that we need to work and acquire more blessing, more merit, better fortune. Okay? Do you get that? I know the religion and faith reference system can be new to a lot of Westerners. But does this religious, religion and faith perspective resonate with any of you? Does it make sense? That the root cause of a human life lies within the merit. That we accumulate the merit, irregardless of what religion. We accumulate merit when we do good things for other people. And as a consequence, every religion promises that your life experience will be better. And they discourage doing bad things for other people because that will earn you bad merit. So whether our life is desirable or undesirable, according to religion and faith perspective, it is the merit that we earn from helping or the bad merit we earn from hurting people. Okay, we get this so far. Irregardless of which religion, they all give us the awareness that we have to do good in order for your life to be better. Irregardless of which religion. And we're talking about legitimate religion. We're not talking about cult and we're not talking about cult that manipulate to do bad things. Okay, they don't hurt people, and those are cult and yeah. But any legitimate religion that can help a person, leading them to a better reality, right? Better society, to create blessing for yourself and for other people. Those are what we consider legitimate religion. When we talk about the human life and experience, okay, and the desirable life is depend on whether we have good or bad merit, how much of it, then we will have the standard reference system. We already have the standard reference system. The standard reference system of merit of human energy structure. Because how else can we explain human life and experience? We base it on the concept of doing good for other people. We base it on the state of being that is balanced and positively oriented with respect to anything that we talk about. Okay? And so, when it comes to the moral philosophy perspective, okay, when the view of moral philosophy, starting with the moral philosophy, it's very simple. The wise have given us what can we rest on or rely on in order to refer, in order to be our reference system to explain human life and experience. Then we have just received the knowledge of the reality triangle. Meaning, irregardless of what we do, we can base it on the reality triangle. Based on what we know, what we believe, what we understand. Based on our source concept. The source concept will determine our life experience. Okay? So with respect to moral philosophy, there's a saying that we may not have noticed. What source concept do you have? What concept do you have about that idea? So let's talk about, let's say they want to do something. What concept do you have about it? Anybody ever say that, oh, they want to do something, want to be somebody? You ask, do you have a concept of that? Right? Those are from the moral philosophy. Those are from some common sense verbiage in the common language. What concept do you have about it? Do you have a concept? You lack the concept. You lack the source concept. You have no conception of what it is. Okay? Right? Ever heard of that? I have no conception. I have no idea. Well, that's what it is, the source concept. He or she has no concept of what we're talking about. Well, that is a source concept. That is the moral philosophy perspective talking. That person doesn't know what to do because they have no concept. They have no idea. Okay? They have no idea. And so a person's lifetime, according to the moral philosophy perspective, can be explained simply because they lack source concept. They lack the conception of something. For example, a person who is always resenting and blaming other people. Okay, a person who is resenting and blaming other people, then for themselves, they don't have a problem. There's no problem with that person. All it is that they lack the source concept of honoring gratitude. That's why they resent. Who would want to go around blaming other people? Do you get that? They have a concept of resentment and blaming, but they lack the concept of honoring gratitude. A person who gets angry all the time, they don't have a problem. It is only because they lack the concept of magnanimity and capaciousness. Because anger doesn't help them. Nobody want to be angry. Angry hurts them. Okay? They simply lack the concept of magnanimity and tolerance. Okay? It's painful to hate people. It's painful to be angry. It is only because they lack the concept about magnanimity, and so all they know is to be angry. They don't know how else to be. They don't know, they don't believe, and they don't understand anything about magnanimity. What about people who are in pain and suffering? Oh, there are different type of pain and suffering. It is only because they lack the source concept of serenity. A person who is inferior, or a person who is arrogant, who wants to be angry, who want to be arrogant or inferior? It is only because they lack the concept of humility and humbleness. Do you get that? They don't know, and so they don't believe, and they don't understand humbleness and humility. And so, in this basic, as a human being, from moral philosophy, people don't have a problem. And from the scientific, there's no problem with a person. They just don't have a good mental image. And so, just go get positive mental images. Okay? Good mental images. If you have not accumulated the positive merit, then just accumulate merit. If you don't have source concept that is beneficial, then go acquire source concept that are beneficial. Images, I'm gonna say, yeah, good, that's fine. And so, when you have positive images, let's say use the word positive. Okay, if you have positive images, if you have good merit, if you have beneficial source concept, then your life is gonna be desirable. So in essence, there is no problem when it comes to people. People have no problem. They just simply lack the source concept or the images or the merit. That's it. There's no problem with people. And so if anybody who is poor and in poverty, where does that come from? There's no problem. There's no problem being poor. That is only because they have not have a good positive image about the life reality. When talking about money or finances, their inner state is not yet balanced and positive. That means they lack the merit in terms of finances. And that means they have unbeneficial source concept in life. And so how do we change their life? Develop beneficial source concept. Change the inner state in order to confront all aspects of life and clarify the positive image about what we want. And so that's how we change a person's life. Okay? People have no problem. People have no problem. Life, people have no problem in life. It is only because they are not clear with what they want in terms of mental images. It is because their inner state is not balanced and positive yet, and it is because they don't have a source concept about what they want that is beneficial. There is no problem with people. If there is a problem in marriage, that problem is not in the marriage. The problem is with the seed within the person. Do they have a good, clear, positive image about marriage? When speaking about marriage, is the inner state balanced and positive? What source concept do they have about marriage? Is it beneficial? That's how it will determine their marriage. There's no problem. And so, in essence, people do not have problem. Can we have that awareness and perception? People have no problem. People are not problematic. Somebody asked a question, the formula for overcoming all problems of life, can we call those the standard reference system? No, a standard reference system is a standard reference system. A formula is a formula. Okay, reference system is a reference system. Formulas are formulas. Keys are called keys. Anything that is law. Principles are principles. We don't get those mixed up. One may use the other. Okay, in the formula for overcoming all life's problem, we use the reference system, the standard reference system. Because it is standard reference system, we use it in many aspects. We use a standard reference system in formula. We use standard reference system in a lot of explanation. So there is no problem in human life. It is only a matter of whether or not they have a standard reference system in order to explain their life. Congratulations. Because after 11 sessions, 11 days that you have accompanied us, if anybody has received what we have shared so far, then we can conclude that we now have a standard reference system to live by. As a human, we have an immeasurable power when we have a standard reference system, meaning we have a leverage. We only lack one thing, which is the leverage. The leverage in terms of information and the leverage of knowledge is the most powerful leverage a human being can have. If we take the leverage from people, or we use other things that is not in knowledge, then it is more easy to get lost. Because where you rely on, when you rest in people, people will leave. When you rest on a mountain, even the mountain will fade away. We can only rely on the knowledge and the knowledge of root. And the 3 standard reference is one of the root knowledges that you can rely on. And by anchoring yourself with it, you will be able to change your life from then on. You just need to give me a leverage, and I can lift the entire earth. That is a powerful saying from one of the science. Just give me a leverage, and I will be able to lift the entire earth. A fulcrum and a leverage. Remember the saying, give me a leverage, and I will lift the entire planet. So a genius so this is a saying from a famous scientist. A fulcrum and a leverage. Okay, what can we rest on? What can we rely on? What can we leverage? If you have a leverage, then you can lift the entire planet. You just need a single fulcrum. Just a single fulcrum. A human being, we only lack that one fulcrum and leverage. With that fulcrum and leverage, we can do everything. And that is a standard reference system. The standard reference system is the most important fulcrum and reference that we can have in our life. And that is why in the past decade, many dozens of years, our master has spent many years just sharing this knowledge, and he desired that everybody in every family has a standard reference to live by. We don't even need a entire philosophy to live by. You just need the beginning of a reference system. Then you will have no fear because we can explain all aspects of life. And so in the past many years, our master have been repeating about the standard reference system, the three standard reference system, keep on talking until 10,000 inner being coach and consultant can spread the value to 100 million Vietnamese people. So that in this life, we need a standard reference system based on science, based on religion and moral philosophy. What is the basic view of science? What is the basic religion and basic moral philosophy? We have the root cause formula, we have the human energy structure, and we have the reality triangle. From then on, we can explain everything about all aspects of human life. And so the upcoming day is so important. We are going to use the triangle of reality into the develop all source concept in human life. We're going to light up the first light, the light of wisdom and mentality. Then from then on, you will be able to change your life. If you have the standard reference system, that is having the source concept of the source concept in order to develop all other beneficial source concept of life. And so based on the three standard reference system, it is simple to develop all favorable source concept in life. And so our master's heart is focused because a single child, if he understands that if anything that they do, they need to clarify the image about what they do. It is to maintain a inner state that is balanced and positively oriented. They know how to accumulate good merit about what they do. If they know how to develop the beneficial source concept in what they do, then you can predict his causality, his outcome in life. Can we predict a child's causal outcome in life? If a child knows how to use the three standard reference system, yeah, you can predict his causality out. Because if they have this kind of awareness, if they know how to attach themselves to the standard reference system and explain all aspects of life, if any problem arises in life, then immediately you will just use the standard reference system. Then immediately, then we know the root cause right away. Okay. Then we want to understand where it comes from, where our life, if we're having problem, then we understand where the cause is, then we immediately know how to solve the problem. And so the three standard reference system is one of the most valuable knowledge that humanity need to have. And so upcoming, there is a plan try to maintain a positive mental image. The teachers are helping our master, the book writers are helping. We're going to gift to society a volume of books, a book on all the standard reference system, and 7 books on the 7 riches of life. So there is going to be the book called the 3 standard reference system and 7 holistic wealth. We will not sell these books. We will only give this to society. So we have a wanting and imagining, and we will want to share to 1,000,000 people. That is like 1% of Vietnamese in the population of Vietnam. And just 1% of population in Vietnam understand what the standard reference system is, what the 7 holistic wealth is, how do you to reach that point of ultimate maturity of a human being. If 1% of society can understand that even one person will be able to help the other 99% to understand, and slowly about 5 years, 10 years, maybe the entire country of Vietnam, whatever we do, we have to clarify the positive image. Anything that we have to maintain a standard, inner state that is balanced and positive, accumulate good merit. Anything that we do, we have to have a beneficial source concept. Then over time, they will light up the light of wisdom, the light of mentality, the light of mentality, of character, the light of competency and physicality and integrity, and even their material abundance, then we will reach a state of holistic wealth for the country of Vietnam. And so in this year, we're gonna begin uh, the book, 3 standard reference system and the 7 holistic wealth, because it's so valuable and only Vietnam has it. This the knowledge only Vietnam has it in at this time in the world. And so this is so valuable that we're going to gift it to society. It'll be a gift to humanity. We just need a lot of people to receive this value. Then we will be able to propagate the 3 standard reference system, and from then a human being can rely on and leverage. It is just a single leverage. Everybody just lacking one leverage, and if you can attach yourself to the standard reference system, then we congratulate to them. Anything that you do will become simple in the future. Okay? Do you see the power of the 3 standard reference before? So you can maintain the positive image. The book writers in WIT is doing the work of writing those books, because sooner or later, rather sooner, we're gonna prioritize the gift to the mentors and the masters. Okay, each mentor and master will get a volume. After that, the mentor and master, if they want to help anybody, they will, you can print it out later. Okay. We're trying to raise the funds so that we can gift the books. We will diligently gift these books. In about maybe 2 years, 1,000,000 people will receive the value from this volume of books. We're talking about physical book. As for e-books and those ones, that's those we're gonna absolutely have to do that. We're talking about 1,000,000 physical books. It'll be the compass for each family that can be passed on to the next generation of Vietnamese children, because we want 1,000,000 Vietnamese people to have the signature of the 3 standard reference system and the 7 holistic wealth. If 1% of a population has it, then 5-10 years everybody have the standard reference system, and everybody have the philosophy of life in order to be the foundation for business and for family educating. Then it'll be delicious. Okay, sounds good. So that's it for the translation of K36, day number 11 on the triangle of reality. We are complete in terms of our reference systems. Okay, in the past 11 days, we went through the root cause formula. We went through some principles and laws. We went through the religion and faith reference system. And now we finish up with the triangle of reality, upon which we can build many other such concepts and explain all aspects of life. Let's do some lesson, impression, realization. Anybody still on the Zoom? You guys can go ahead, unmute, and speak up. Let me know what your impressions are. This is repeat for all of you, I know. Okay, all of you are repeating, but even though it is repeated, this philosophy has been designed to expand your awareness and perception. So even though you go through the same exact material, every time you go through it, your awareness expands a little bit. And so your reception of this exact same material should be a little bit different. Does anybody feel like that? Yeah, exact same stuff. Okay. Some of you may have gone through this 2 or 3 times. Other people have gone through this a dozen times. How many times have you gone over the reality triangle, chị Hoa?
Minimum 6 times.
Okay, minimum 6 times. Okay, so the inner being courses, the mental with 6 courses, the mental seven six courses, and so by now, can you quote it? Can are you able to memorize and say the reality triangle in terms of the that which we know, that which we understand, that which we believe?
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. Actually, the other two reference system I'm able uh, to uh,
to share.
to share. For some reason, the triangle of reality is so simple, and I'm not fully get it yet. Isn't that something, hey? So
Interesting.
yeah,
Well, don't focus on the not getting. Okay, so if you use the language, if you use the language of the philosophy, if you use the language of the reality triangle, okay, if you use the language of the reality triangle, then in order for us to have the reality of anything, we have to have the positive image about it, and we have to have the inner state that is balanced and positive, and we have to have the beneficial source concept. So you just mentioned the reality triangle, and your inner state is what?
I said the word not yet.
A little bit negative, right? Not yet is
Yeah.
good. Better than oh I don't know. So that it's somewhat positive but not balanced and positive. It's positive but not balanced and positive. So that's one way to understand. Oh, okay, this triangle is not complete. My reality with respect to the reality triangle is not complete. Uh, and so how do you go about making the inner state more balanced and positive?
Is to share
Okay, yeah, exactly.
more, to share more, and
Yeah,
then so for someone get it, then I get it.
there you go. Okay,
Yes.
and the fact that you have not be able to quote it, to memorize it, to say it, what does it say about your source concept? That whole dictation about that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand is represent the information within us, represent the reality of our life. What we know, what we believe, what we understand represent the source concept, represent the information within us, represent the reality of life about it. All of that is a source concept. If you have not been able to just like that, that means your source concept is not clear just yet. Right?
Clear just yet, correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, now you know exactly what to do. You know exactly what to do.
Yes. I like one of the audience in the Zoom. Her name is Mira Miracle. I really like her name.
Miracle, yeah, I know.
Yeah, beautiful name. Yes.
Okay, you have a good positive image about another person's name.
Mhm. Yes. Yes, the triangle, the three reference system is just a great tool, like for every day, to able to use mm, for for daily life. It's just the more I think about it, the more I feel how fortunate that I am able to this lifetime. I get to learn the philosophy. Yeah, it is. Earlier you were saying, I'm sorry, I could have said hi, Frank, and hi, everyone. I didn't say hello yet. The earlier you were saying that, oh, I hear this so many times, and I read the book and all of this. You're right. Every time I hear it again, I was like, well, how come I didn't hear that before? It's 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 all about energy, vibrational frequency energy match.
Yeah, we're not. If we're not a vibrational match for it, it'll be empty space for us instead of material for us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful word.
Thank you, G. Thank you, G.
Yes.
Anybody else would like to share something? San, are you still on the camera, the phone?
It's Eastern time. Oh wow, he's still awake.
Oh, he's in the East Coast.
It's 11:30 p.m. So
Oh my goodness.
I
Okay.
should
I
be time to sleep.
really,
But
really appreciate you. Okay. I am
uh,
honored by your participation and I am grateful for your presence. But do say a few things. See if you can, let me know what you got out of it.
mm,
What do you get out of today's sharing?
I guess when you shared it again, I just trying to. So can you say that the source concept of the reality triangle
Mm-hmm.
is the information? So yeah, so if we draw the
Uh-huh.
reality triangle,
Yeah, good.
and then it's another reality triangle of
Exactly.
information,
Yeah. Okay, so this
right?
is the most basic one. Okay, the
Yeah,
most basic one is the red color.
yeah,
Okay, if you're gonna share with anybody, you begin with the idea that all matter, right? The wood material matter,
yeah.
all matter
Material
in this
expression.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a material expression or the matter. Okay, you understand that part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everything I'm
Yeah.
touching, everything I feel, that's okay. Matter. Material
Yeah.
expression.
Material expressions. Yeah.
That material expression come with energy signature, and the energy signature is so and so because of a very specific information within it.
Yeah.
Okay, you use the idea of gold and lead and gold.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to change the material expression of lead to match the material expression of
Yeah.
gold,
Treasure
turn lead into
gold.
gold, all we gotta do is change the information. That is a
Mm-hmm.
key point. So that is the physical world, that is the worldly view, and you want to make the tie into the human view, the human life view. Okay, so
Yeah.
we know how to change lead to gold. How do we change a sick person into a healthy person, a sad person into a happy person? You focus on the information.
Information. Yeah.
That's a second point. That's a second step. You just change the information because changing the information will change the energy and the material expression. Then you go through that whole thing. Okay, what is the information within the human being? Okay, that's a key question that will tie the next step. What is the information within a human being? And then what the information within a human being is the outside circle. It's what we know, what we believe, what we understand.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just say those three, that's it. Even that as a beginner, you can share that what we know, what we believe, what we understand is the information within us,
Yeah.
and that represent our reality of life. Yeah, because if you can change the information, you're going to change the material expression, and then
Yeah.
from then you can sort of mathematically and logically uh, recreate the whole script
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
understand it. You have the
Mm-hmm.
formula. It is a logical formula that
Mm-hmm.
goes from material down to information, and then the information you link to from the physical world, the material world, the physical world, the worldly view, and you link that to human life experience using happiness and peace and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Yeah.
come to the knowing, believing, understanding. What we know, what we believe, and what we understand. If we can just get that far, that's good. The source concept that extra.
Mm-hmm.
So can you say it? Can you now? These are the clue for you. This is a roadmap. Okay, so now
Yeah.
you're meeting a friend. Let's say I'm your friend, your coworker, whoever you meet in the elevator. And can you transmit the idea of the reality triangle? Give it a try before you go to sleep.
So what we know, uh, what's it? What we know and what we believe and what we understand, it represents the information within us.
Mm-hmm.
That's one.
Mm-hmm.
that which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand, repres. I just said the same thing.
That's fine. That's good. There are different ways of saying that. The master intentionally uses different ways of saying that it'll
Right.
reprogram yourself from the front, from the back, from the top, and from the bottom up.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if you can just do this. Okay. Without first clear everything.
Hmm.
Clear your mind. Okay. So Frank, I'm gonna tell you how to. Let's say I'm a person who is sick a lot, and I want to be healthy.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So you have a purpose. You have a goal. That there's a friend whose reality of life is illness, and this friend wants good health.
Okay.
Go.
We would say, so you you're expressing bad health. You're feeling sick, or you feeling negative. Um, do you know why, or would you know the reason that you're in that state?
Okay. You
So
gotta
we
be
would
careful
ask the
because when you say
person,
that, you open a can of worms. They're gonna talk to you about
everything.
everything.
Okay.
Right? They're gonna tell you all kind of things. Okay. What do you want to do? You say, Frank, a person. You can say
A person is sick
you want to
because
establish a person's desire. Okay. So this is me,
okay.
high level coaching on how
Yep.
to transform another person's life.
Okay.
Okay. This is coaching. If you want to change a person's life, you begin not with their bad image. Okay, they have bad image. They have social concept, bad, unbeneficial social concept.
Hmm.
You begin by asking them about their desire. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to be happy and healthy? Already, you are planting a seed of mental image. Now, always
Right.
begin with
Right.
the right side. This is a scientific
Hmm.
method. You begin with the right side of the triangle. Okay, right?
Hmm.
Would you
Hmm.
like? You want to? Okay. I know you're
Do
having
you
these
want
problems. Yeah. You want to be happy and healthy.
to? Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. You say okay. Then
Okay.
next you say okay.
Okay. Say, okay.
Do you want me to give you a really fast way of going from being sick to being healthy? Okay. Then you say think of gold. Think of lead and gold. Lead has a material expression that is different from gold. Do you notice that? Okay, this is coaching. Okay, you get the consent. You have to get the consent. Do you understand it before
Hmm.
you move to
Do
the
you
next step?
understand? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
understand that lead has a both of them has a material expression, right? Lead has a different material expression from gold. Well, it turns out that gold has that particular material expression is because it has a certain energy and it has a certain information.
Information. Right.
And you can even skip the energy part. Okay.
Hmm.
Some people are more energetic. I
There's a
know
certain
Gigi.
information.
Yeah, for Jihua, if you're religious, some people are very energetic, so you might want to include the energy. Okay, that's why we have a reality. You have to talk about energy. Okay,
Hmm.
lead has a specific material expression. It's dull, it's gray, because it has a certain energy and it has a certain information that gives it the dullness or grayness. Gold has a material expression that is shiny and gold and yellow and gold because it has a energy and information that give it that specific material expression. Okay, try that. Just say what I've just said.
Okay. So Frank, do you want, did you desire to be healthy,
Yeah, I
right?
want to be healthy. Yeah.
You want to be healthy, right? Um, so so say, say you have gold and lead.
Okay.
What makes them different? Oh, they have a yeah. So what do you think makes them different?
Okay. You have to
So
use the
you
keyword material expression.
material expression. Yeah.
Do you notice?
So
Do you notice that lead and gold has a material expression that are different from one
okay.
another? Go ahead and say that. This is called
Okay.
imprinting. You're repeating exactly what the code say.
Okay. So do you know that lead and gold has a different material impressions,
Expression. Yeah, material
expressions,
expression. Right.
material expressions,
Okay.
and
What
then
do you
you
mean? What
wait
do you mean?
until
What do you mean,
what do you
Sen?
mean by
What
me?
do you Sen?
What
What
do
do
you
you mean
mean?
by material expression? Now you have to explain it. So what do you mean by
Yeah.
material expression?
So when you meaning meaning that gold has a certain
Shininess?
information in
No, not yet. So
no,
we're not
right?
even. See, I know why you guys are confused because we are skipping to head too quickly and we don't dwell enough in the circle of knowledge. Okay, hang on.
Right, right.
This is for any serious coaches. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
who is
Mm-hmm.
still in this Zoom. Okay, who's still here? Okay, this is deadly serious stuff, and this is
Yeah.
why so many people have studied the mentor program and very so few people have actually been able to share it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I still have the screen. You have to. You're trying to get a person from A all the way to Z.
Yeah.
The only way to get from A to Z is you have to walk them from A to B.
To be
They have to agree, and then you walk them from
then
B
from B to
to
C,
C.
right?
They have to agree.
Right.
You have to walk them from C to D. They have to agree. And then ultimately, finally, at the end, they agree with you everything from A to B.
A to
Then you can say that A equal to Z.
mm-hmm.
In the declaration, we don't talk about the food. Do we talk about the food and the lifeblood? It's in the declaration or in the not there's a declaration in one of our rituals and ceremony that says that a person's transformation is our lifeblood, and their
Okay.
agreement is the food that we eat. We cannot survive without eating food, just as a mentor cannot survive without a
Survive
person's
if without
agreement.
agreement. Okay.
Agreement here is the agreement. So you say, do you agree that A equals B? So now we're trying to give the reality triangle, and we have to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, first you get the agreement. Do you want to go from being sick to being healthy?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's sick to being healthy,
Number
right?
one agreement.
That is an agreement. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
sick to
To
health.
healthy.
That is first agreement. Okay, then say, okay, I'm gonna tell you one quick way to go from sick to being healthy. Then you ask a question again. Your entire conversation with another person is filled with nothing but question. The Socratic method. Okay.
Okay.
Do you agree that everything in this world, this universe, has a material expression?
Expression. Okay.
If you agree
And
that
then
everything, then you can go and yeah, they'll say, oh yeah, okay.
okay.
Or they may ask, okay,
Or they'll
what do
say,
you mean?
what is material
Yeah, what is
expression?
material?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You say, oh, good. Thank you for asking. Take a look at lead and gold. Lead has a material expression that's kind of dull and gray. Gold has a material expression that is
Expression.
shiny and yellow.
Shining yellow.
You have
Yeah.
just you have made the connection between material expression and lead and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then you ask another question. Okay, well, guess what? Do you know why lead and gold have the specific material expression? Why are they different? Okay, okay. It is because some questions are meant to get the agreement. Some questions are meant to, ignite a certain curiosity, and some question is just to help them, lead them along.
Hmm.
So when you say, okay, you know that lead and gold have a different material expression. The material, what I'm talking about when I say material expression, that is, it is the lead looks dull and gold looks shiny. That is called material expression.
Right.
That's so we can
Yeah.
speak the same language. Okay, so
Hmm.
we speak the same language. Then you go, okay, scientists have been able to determine that the material expression comes from an energy signature, which comes from information. That may take a little bit to for a person to process. So you have really have to slow down depending on the person. Just that's why I'm walking you step by step because the friend or people that you're talking to, and I'm coaching you. This not just on the reality triangle. This I'm coaching you on how to basically walk a person to anything in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a step by step process of getting the agreement and then expanding the awareness. So say, okay, scientists have been able to determine that everything has a material expression, and that material expression comes from an energy that is
Energy.
B to D. Okay, and that energy comes from the information that is D to E.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you can change the information, you can change the energy, and you can change the material expression. That is a logical step by step. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to even go longer than that. If you can even do that, if you
Yeah.
can even explain it to another person logically, why why lead and gold has the specific material expression. Why does lead have a specific material expression? Why does lead look dull and gold look shiny? It is because lead has different information, gold has different information. If you can do that, then everything else just kind of follow.
All right. Okay. Yeah. It's like it's that
Why do you
step
take
by
the
step
Mentor
thing.
7? Why are you in the Mentor 7 program, Sen?
To be honestly, my just registered me.
Who? Who?
My girlfriend just registered me.
Who's your
Can I
girlfriend?
interrupt?
Yeah.
Mine is a DC01 graduate.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. It's yeah. It's important to have a clear mental image about your goals and dreams
Hmm.
and your desire. Okay. Um, because a person who comes into a mentor program and study with the intention of coaching and teaching other people and creating value, they will study with a different intensity and absorption rate than a person who going there would not really know why they're there in the first place.
Yeah.
Right?
That is true.
Ron is simple because Dihua is here. At least he has motivation.
Yeah.
Well, I only went to the offline because of why I wanted to be with her. Had no intention of joining anything, but it ended up, I liked the knowledge and I ended up joining. So, yeah.
Frank, I'm giving a lot of credit to Sen.
Yeah.
If he did not know any Vietnamese lessons because there's a language barrier, and he came in and he participated, and you're doing well. I mean, it's
Okay.
midnight, almost midnight
So
right now.
so yeah, so I understand, Shen a little clearer. He's here because for his girlfriend.
Mm.
But if Sen, do you ever
Hmm.
want, do you ever want to clarify your life goals and dreams?
Well, yeah, definitely. That's
Okay.
that's why I'm trying to get a better understanding.
Send me a text message. Send me a message on over Telegram or something. We'll talk.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like
Hey,
some
Sen.
coaching? Would you like some
Yes.
coaching?
I'll Yeah, I definitely need a lot of coaching.
Okay. So what I do is I mean, I coach people to clarify the goals and dream
Hmm.
and to realize it, okay, to make it happen. Where if you study with no clear goals and dream, you're gonna be floating around. It'll be a waste of your time, and your girlfriend will be very proud of you for taking it, and it'll be nice. It'll be nice, nice and nice and nice. Okay, but if you have clear goals and dream, if you want to be a millionaire, if you want freedom of time, if you want a freedom of finances, if you want health, happiness, if you want leave a legacy for your children, all of that stuff. If you want anything specific, then I can coach you to reach that specific reality. Otherwise, you
Right.
can just enjoy it and just kind of float around, and it'll be a nice little, you know, 10
I
month.
think everybody in the world's desires have all those things, but they just don't know how to find it yet.
Yeah, so that's why they need
We
coaching.
all,
Okay.
yeah.
So here, the philosophy, our master give us the foundation, give us a
Hmm.
reference system, but it is that is the role of the coaches. It is the role of the inner being coaches and consultant to clarify for people and to help them realize it. And I've sort of taken that upon myself to be a sort of a mission kind of thing. Okay, so send me a direct message, send, and we'll catch
Sure.
up. Okay,
Okay.
I will let you sleep. Once again, I am very very grateful. Okay, I'm totally grateful and honored by your time. Okay, your time is your life. If we are all given
Yeah.
a limited amount of time in our life, for every minute you spend in this Zoom, you are giving me your life. Okay,
Yeah.
so I am
That
utterly
is true.
I
I
am
I have
utterly
to.
grateful for that. That is a realization that I have with respect to people's time. Okay, you are
Hmm.
giving me pieces of your life. And so let us not
Exactly.
drain Sen's life anymore and give him a chance to live the rest of his life
One
in
question,
peace.
please. Sen, what was your test? Was it triangle reality?
It
Triangle.
was the triangle reality.
Oh,
Yeah.
there
Oh,
you
that's karma right
go.
there. That is
Right
see, see,
there.
see.
Perfect timing.
We're in the right frequency. Okay, so
Yes, got it.
Frank, I got to confess something. I kind of watched Hua. She took over for Kohua Me tonight,
okay.
and
Ooh,
sharing the knowledge. So I kind of listened to part of hers, and I was listening to
okay,
yours as well.
okay, awesome, awesome.
So I wanted to hear. She first time she shared for somebody. So I am
I was
very
just,
impressed with
thank
Hua.
you. I was just reviewing her lesson. So, yeah, it was good. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
I'll
Okay.
see you when I see you.
Thank
Have a
you,
good
Frank.
night.
I'll
Bye
see you.
bye.
Have a good night.
Yes, thank you,
Bye.
Thai Frank.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Thank
Frank.
everyone.
you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
All right, thank you,
Truth is
Anbin.
in
Thank
See you
you,
Bye.
tomorrow, Sen.
Miracle. Thank you, Trami. Thank you, Kim Loan Pham. See you guys later. Bye bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, teacher Frank and
you,
everyone.
teacher. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Good
That sounds
night
like
to
Pauline.
you,
Bye.
US.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Good night.